Chris Jericho, clearly not happy with everything that he's already achieved in the world of pro wrestling, has picked up an AEW pen. I saw you on Instagram, Chris Jericho, and he has indeed signed a deal with All Elite Wrestling. Holy cow, kiss my face. I know there's a lot of people out there who refuse to get excited about it, but screw that, even if it does darn its ass, which, by the way, I don't think it will. Isn't it much more fun to be excited, to be positive, and hope that it does make a dent in the industry so that we, the fans and the wrestlers, can all enjoy a brand new boom in the industry? I think so. I think that sounds tickety-boo. And if you are being a negative Nancy, you better lock your doors, because that's just good safety protocol when it comes to your house. I'm not going to come round. I'm nuts. A huge reason it could reach the heights that it wants is because of Y2J, who is a worldwide star. So why has Chris Jericho signed with AEW? Here is why. Even if at one point you didn't consider yourself a Chris Jericho fan, I don't think you can argue anymore about how amazing his career has been. The last year, especially. He was already Hall of Fame worthy, but then he decided, you know what? I'm going to go over to this little promotion known as New Japan, which is buzzing and getting bigger and bigger by the day, and prove that not only can I hang with all these incredible wrestler dudes, but also bring something extra to the product. It truly cemented his legacy and showed that Jericho may be from a different generation, but he always keeps an eye on the one that followed and gives that one exactly what it wants. It is truly impressive. If I was doing like some kind of exam or some kind of report card, you'd give him an A+ and you'd give him a smiley face, maybe even a gold star. He is also a draw, something that's quite rare in modern day pro wrestling. We always look at WWE and go, well, who's the top star over here? And it's a worthy question. There are many answers to it, but it's different when you go outside the bubble, even more so if when you were in it, you made sure to kick all of the ass. That was me kicking ass, even though it's my hand into my palm. The reason we were so excited about Chris Jericho being involved in Wrestle Kingdom 12 is because we were getting a dream match. No one in their right mind thought we were ever going to see Kenny Omega versus Y2J. When it turned out, not only were you going to get it, but you were going to get it in New Japan. Well, I bet there was at least one person's head in the world that just exploded. In fact, that family probably hates the fact Chris Jericho went to Wrestle Kingdom, went to New Japan, because look at the tragedy it lay. But sometimes when an announcement is so big, pow, brains explode. Some of that story may be made up. It was a huge reason why thousands of individuals bought New Japan World, New Japan's subscription service, but also stayed around after Chris Jericho had gone away, because they liked what they saw. That's why you bring people like Y2J in. Audience comes along, sees what else you're doing, and goes, oh, I like Naito, I like Okada, maybe this can be my brand new wrestling show. So why All Elite Wrestling? I already look forward to the comments going, well, that was obvious, numbnuts. Why did you even bother? It's like a good wrestling storyline. Sometimes it's nice just to come on camera and speak the bleeding obvious, and we can do it like a community. But if All Elite Wrestling does manage to get the success that it's going after, and Chris Jericho is directly responsible for that, which he will be, he's a major part of it, he will have proven once again just how important he's been to this game and how important he's been in 3 different decades. You can go all the way back to the 90s and his matches in Mexico when murmuring started about this new high fly. You can move forward into WCW, where he was easily one of the most underused and underrated stars that they had. Hence why, in the late 90s and in the 2000s, he went to WWE, and we all know what he did there, even after a difficult start. It did take a while for him to find his feet, but go and turn on some hindsight. Multiple-time world champion, multiple-time tag team champion, multiple-time intercontinental champion, probably one of the titles I'm not thinking about right now. All the angles, that time he had the feud with Shawn Michaels, the way he kept reinventing himself year in, year out. At no point did Jericho ever sit still, which is why the logical next step would to be join a company from the very bottom and try and allow it to climb the ladder. And that's what he's doing in the, what do we call it, the 2000 teens? My point being, 90s, check. 2000, check. 2010s, we'll call that this decade. That's 3. Doing that would be an incredible feat, and he has the name and he has the power to make it happen. I imagine the Khans are still pinching themselves going, how the flip did we get Chris Jericho? Because I'm assuming the Khans are very nice people and they don't swear. They say flip off and, I don't know, shizzle. It's almost a win-win for Y2J as well, because regardless what happens, even if the promotion doesn't take off, doesn't affect his legacy. He's already achieved so much. You can't just take that away from him like stealing candy from a baby. I've never bought into that. This argument that insert wrestler here came back and ruined everything he did before. That's not how it works. When you're in the pub or wherever you chat about wrestling and you bring up Shawn Michaels, you're not thinking about Crown Jewel. You're thinking about the WrestleMania title win. You're thinking about everything with Bret Hart. You're thinking about his WrestleMania Taker matches. Jericho could have coasted for the next 20 years and he'd still be considered a hero, but he doesn't do that. He wants to get to the top of the tree for the what, like the 12th time? I don't know, I don't keep count, it's a lot. There's other pluses here too, you'd have to imagine, in the sense that surely AEW is going to have a lesser road schedule than WWE, so Chris Jericho can focus things on his band and Fozzy. I mean, he was doing that before, but now that will make it easier, and he's still going to be able to do his cruise. And man, is WWE kicking themselves for that now. Jericho wanted to work with NXT on that cruise, and they said no. Now look what you did, WWE. And you did it with Cody Rhodes too. You've got to start learning the word yes. Finally, Chris Jericho, probably the biggest star in All Elite Wrestling, and I mean that in a good sense. And that is not a knock on Cody Rhodes or the Young Bucks, because they are out of this world at the minute and have already cemented themselves in history by trying this in the first place. You can only regret the things you don't do. They're doing it. They're just, I can't even think of the word. They're brilliant. They're brilliant people. But when it comes to the casual fan, that's when you've got to start talking about Y2J. They know who he is. They recognize him as a WWE star. And much like NJP Derbia, if they hear, oh, Chris Jericho, he's involved with something called All Elite Wrestling, I think that's something I want to watch too, because I love Chris Jericho. I followed him to the East. Now I'm coming back into the West. Jericho will get people to tune in, be that Double or Nothing, or whatever TV deal eventually pops up from the ground. What's most interesting is what version of Jericho we're going to get for this run, because it's not going to be the same as what we've seen before, as we've established. Chris don't do that. And if you do go on the social media pages, as we've mentioned, or just watch what he did at the press conference, he seems a bit smilier, he seems a bit cheerier, and I was like, I haven't seen this version of the Ayatollah of rock and roller for a while. It's like face happy Skippy Jericho. And if you really want, you can take all of that, flip it on his head and actually say, this is Chris Jericho's defining moment. The kind of career where he can add this kind of achievement to his bow, despite what he may have to sacrifice in spite of it. And I don't know what goes on at WWE, I don't know what the plans are, but ain't no one gonna say that Chris Jericho isn't worthy of a place in the WWE Hall of Fame, but now he's associated with a competitor, maybe that's no longer on the cards. It does always seem that no matter what he does, Vince McMahon is happy to have him back, but this is brand new territory. And in Jericho's head, he must have thought about that, and his decision is, nah, I can do more, I can be bigger, I can make an even more impactful splash by being on the ground floor with All Elite Wrestling and trying to turn it into the new beast that slowly ravages pro wrestling from the inside. Scrap that. That sounded really negative. Let's talk about fairies, gold dust, bread. Everyone loves a sandwich. If nothing else, we're just a long way away from Jericho saying that he would never work for another promoter on the shores of the United States, because now that is 100% what he's doing. I don't hold that against him. I think it's cool. I'm sure when he said those words, he absolutely meant it. But now in 2019, he sees things a little differently, and he's not afraid to take a risk. And if you take nothing else away from this video, take that one. Go take risks, you never know. I genuinely can't wait to see what happens with all of this though, especially because look at all the other things we haven't talked about. Pac's gonna be there, we're gonna have a women's division. Everybody in terms of gender is gonna get equal pay. There's rumors of healthcare for the dudes and the girls. And also, it shouldn't be understated that it's being run by a bunch of people that absolutely love pro wrestling and hopefully want to give back to the fans, or at least that's what I've taken away from it. It's something special indeed. Don't underestimate the power of nice people. Everyone rags on the power of nice people and goes, oh, you're only nice because you're pandering or you don't have opinions for yourself. Bull! And that was me bleeping myself. You can be nice and be opinionated, but realize, well, we live in a crazy world. Jack over there is going to think one thing and there's Sarah. She's going to think something else. I'll hear both. Respect it, but also give my own out without having to go on Twitter waving my flag of death. That is why AEW is more than just another promotion and why Chris Jericho is wiggling his way to potentially being the best of all time, or at least in that conversation. We're going to get to a point where Shawn Michaels come up, Ric Flair will come up, Bret Hart will come up, Stone Cold will come up, The Rock will come up, Harley Race will come up, who knows who will come up, but someone is bringing up Y2J, and if you don't, you ain't having the proper conversation. And what if he does pull it off? My word, the run he has had. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think about AEW Chris Jericho. I'm going to look out for the one guy that goes, I don't like how excited people are about AEW. Who cares? Wow. You're a negative Nancy, pal. you need to go to the Happy Store. Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you go over to WhatCulture.com and read yourself some more articles about WWE, AEW, who knows what else. Follow WhatCulture on Twitter at WhatCulture WWE. And you're here. Go and watch some more WhatCulture wrestling videos. I turned into an old man then. Go and watch some WhatCulture wrestling videos. But do it. Listen to me and listen to old Simon. It's the thing to do. My name is Simon Miller. You have been watching WhatCulture. And again, AEW is coming at you. Go check out the press conference if you haven't already. But also, go watch Raw. Go watch SmackDown. Just take in as much wrestling as you can and have fun. Be entertained. That's what it's all about. I'm the Bald Idiot. Thank you for watching. If I wasn't trapped in the studio, I would have walked off then. It felt like a mic drop moment, but I can't. But what I can do is just go down. Press the lift button. There you go, look, slowly going down. I love you all. Thanks so much. I'll be back real soon.